Yeah, mute lo undu. Please be unmute. Yeah. So last class we discussed about the Jenkins concept and Terraform concepts we completed. Coming to this, last time we some of the concepts like elastic containers service, how to push images to ECR, how to push the images to Docker Hub, and then so we have three important concepts in AWS regarding to container services. That one is the ECR, Elastic Container Registry, and then second one is the Elastic Container Services. Both these two types completed, Elastic Container Services. The next important one is the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Elastic Kubernetes. This is very, very important. So this is the cluster management. So nowadays, this is famous concept. So to manage the clusters. So what is cluster is nothing but to collection of the nodes or collection of the containers. To manage the containers in multiple containers, so we need one service. That service name is the Kubernetes. So that we call as the Elastic Kubernetes services. In this, we have to create the cluster. So cluster is the master node, and then next one is the worker nodes are the EC2 instance or Fargate. We can consider as a worker nodes. Instance as a worker nodes. So one master node is there, remaining are worker nodes. Master node will control the worker nodes. In this worker nodes, so we can deploy our containers. Container is the application along with required software. Once you deploy your container, automatically you can container run in your EC2 instance worker nodes. So we can expose the result as well as. Okay, let's see. So what is the Kubernetes, Elastic Kubernetes services, how to configure the Elastic Kubernetes, so how to create the clusters, so how to create the worker nodes, so, okay, and then how to deploy sample application in the EKS. This is very, very important. Let's see. Just click on Kubernetes services. So it will open the window. Once you log into AWS dashboard, just click on Kubernetes service. It will open. Select any region. So AP South region or any region. This is the EKS Elastic Kubernetes. So Elastic Kubernetes service. Imagine EKS fully managed Kubernetes control panel. Imagine EKS managed services that make it easy for you to use Kubernetes on AWS without need installing operating one Kubernetes control panel. Okay, so let me open one more console panel for EC2 instance. Yeah, this is I selected in right now. I am in Mumbai region. Select Mumbai region. Go for instance tab. Yeah. So to install and configure the EKS Elastic Kubernetes service, select region. First, you have to log into your AWS dashboard. Yes, I logged in. Select any region. Yeah, I selected Mumbai AP Southeast one region. So here, go for your instance. So just create two instance, one instance per Linux instance. Let me launch instance. Two types of instance I'm creating here. P-tail, select P-tail. Yeah, first one is the Amazon Linux. Select. So launch instance. Run instance details. Yeah, these are the default settings on the add storage. Here size is by default 8 GB. I'm entering 15 GB, and then add tags. Here name of the your operating system. My operating system is the Linux. So Linux OS. So configure instance details. Security rules are all default only. Otherwise, you can go for allow all the traffic. So anywhere review launch. So select new key pair. Yeah. So this is the AWS key. Download key pair. Launch it. I just launched the one instance for testing purpose. View instance. I just launched the one AWS Imagine Linux. I can launch Ubuntu, Debian, whatever. Okay. I just launched the one instance. This is the Linux OS. Yeah. Okay. So next, let's go for another console. Yeah, our actual concept is EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Just click on Elastic Kubernetes Service. So our concept is we need to install the, we need to create the cluster, and we need to install the kubectl and your Linux terminal, and then we need to deploy the application in cluster management. See how to configure the EKS, how to check the EKS verification services. So each and everything. Yeah. Before that, just I will show you some small difference between the previously discussed concept. Yeah, you can see this one. Yeah, the good old comparison chart. See, ECS means container architecture created by AWS, requires creating cluster, control panel cost 0, pay for worker nodes, deeper integration with other AWS services such as IAM, ALP extra, good for cloud native container architecture, managed Kubernetes open source platform by AWS, require creating cluster, control panel class 114 this $1. See, major difference. So managed Kubernetes open source, EK is open source. Sorry, EC is the is owned by AWS. ECS it's the owned by AWS. EKS is owned by the open source. EK Kubernetes services from Google that we are added into the AWS. AWS given name as EKS. So see, in ECS, EKS require creating cluster, but forget the no cluster required. Okay, this is the major difference. Both are ECS is the AWS own service, EKS is the third-party services. It is owned to the AWS, and then forget is no cluster required. So this is the serverless technology like Lambda. So we are using serverless technology Lambda, right? So by Lambda, we are running multiple projects without require any servers. Background servers are running. We don't need to provisioning anything. Same way, forget also no need of cluster. Without cluster, we can deploy the multiple containers at a time. Okay. This is pricing also vary. So see, this is the pricing list. ECS control panel, no payment, but EKS $114. Forget also no payment, but total easy control panel you can see EC2 worker nodes, and then $70, EKS $70, forget $0. So anyway, total $70 down to $14 and 20 cents. So based on comparison, price comparison also, market is less compared to the EKS and ECS. Okay, so ECS is the AWS one services, EKS is the third-party services which is added to the AWS. Market is the serverless technology. So easier for the container management. Okay, right. Yeah, so in AWS cloud, so container management, we have two things. One is the Elastic Container Services. So last time we discussed this one, Elastic Container Services, and next one is the to create clusters. Next one is the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. I will show how to create the cluster and EKS. Yeah, first open the EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Yeah, just log into your dashboard and just click on EKS. Yeah, here you can see the add cluster. Just click on add cluster, create cluster. Now just give the cluster name. So I'm giving my cluster name. Or you can give any name. Just sample, I'm giving the hello world cluster. Hello world cluster. Simple name I'm giving. Kubernetes version, we have 1.21 version, we have 1.20 version, we have number of the Kubernetes version. I'm taking the old version 1.20 version. You can take 1.21 version also. It's not a problem. Your latest version also you can select. Yeah, you can go and select latest version. It's not a problem. So I select 1.20. Custom service role. So we need to create the one service role for this EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Here we can directly create. If we already create, we can attach. We already service role is there, you can attach. Otherwise, you can create one service role. How to create a service role? Just click on this IAM. So open, click on IAM. Yes. And just click on IAM. Here we can create the one role per cluster. So at time of creating cluster, you can provisioning the role also. Go to your IAM management. So as first day we discussed, right, IAM management to your users groups and then roles. And then you ask people ask how to when we have to use roles. So in this situation we have to use roles. Create a role. Create a role. Yeah, AWS under our role is ECS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. ECS. Select ECS. This one. Yeah, EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. Under EKS, so which one you want? So EKS cluster management, I want. I'm selecting EKS cluster, and then next permission. Pre-cluster, I need to imagine EKS cluster policy. Right, selected. Next tag. Name of the role not required. Yeah, role name. Yeah, new EKS cluster role. New EKS cluster role. This is my role name. I just create a role. New EKS cluster role. Okay, this role you can add to your cluster at time of creating the cluster. Role is created. Now go back. After creating role, just refresh here. You will display it down. See, new EKS cluster role selected. The remaining all the default settings only. Click next. Now you can see the VPC coming to VPC path. You can create the default VPC or you can create the custom VPC. Okay, so I creating my VPC. I selected my default VPC and I'm selecting the default subnets are selected. And then cluster endpoint classes comes under public. So you can create a cluster in public and private nodes and private also. The three options, any options you can do. So best practice first go for the public. So after later on you can do public private as well as. I'm creating cluster in public. This is my VPC version, core and DNS names. So these are all the default settings. Click next. Yeah. See, these are some control panel APIs also we can enable. As of now, this is the default settings. So click next. Yeah. So my cluster name is the Hello World cluster. My cluster version is 1.22. Version is important. You need to remember version 1.22 version. Hello World cluster. Okay. These are the I created my cluster and this is the VPC default VPC. These are subnets. So these are subnets in my cluster, right? So this is the default information about your cluster or overall information about your cluster. Your cluster, yeah, you can see your cluster API service endpoint access public. Everything is a class Kubernetes versions. Yeah, just click on create. Just click on create. Yes. Some of the zones are okay because US East one. US East one. Oh, no. So we have to create a cluster under region Mumbai, right? Select Mumbai region. Okay. Yeah. Yet I am selecting any other region. Select Mumbai region. My cluster name is the cluster version 1.20. You can select any version. I'm just 20 version thing. New EKS cluster role. Click next. Default VPC. You have so many VPCs, right? So region important. So in Mumbai region, in which region you are creating clusters? So Mumbai region. Select VPC and select subnets. Security groups also you can select. So otherwise you can leave it as default also. I created a cluster security groups. So you can select default issues. So auto scaling cluster HOD auto scaling EKS cluster. Yeah. Public. Remaining our default settings. Click next. Click next. Create. See. So I created a cluster in Mumbai region. Okay. See, my cluster is creating. See, start creating. See, status is creating. Once cluster created in AWS dashboard, this first part. Second part, go to your instance in Mumbai region. So we are launched on instant, right? Yeah. So this is your client computer, like for example, your basic computers, Linux or Windows. From your system, so you need to connect it to cluster. So I created cluster. I was trying to connect it to my cluster. So how to connect to cluster? So first connect to your system. Just refresh. My system is ready. Okay. Yeah, select the system. Click on connect. Click on connect. Yeah. So in your system, so some of the things you need to install, like AWS CLI, how to install. Yeah, this is my local machine. So first install sudo yum update -y. Default plugins are I am installing. Plus up that in your local system, Linux system, I want to connect to my Linux system to my cluster. So I have to install this some prerequisites. I need to install the two things in your AWS EC2. The things are AWS CLI. We need to install one, and then next one is the next software kubectl to connect to cluster via your Linux system. Next software AWS kubectl. So kubectl. Yeah, these two software mandatory you need to install into your system. In case you are installing Windows also, the two softwares you need to install in your PowerShell or C command line. So right now I am using the AWS EC2 Linux system. In your Linux system, you need to install the AWS CLI and then kubectl. These two software you need to install. Okay, let's see. Which is connected. Default plugins are installed. Right. Next. The process is there in your in this website only. Just you go for any website, just to open the Google. So all steps are there in website only, so no need to worry about the commands. Yeah, so here you just type the AWS. So AWS EKS in AWS. So you can see this one, imagine EKS. Now here you have all these steps. So complete information about the EKS. So how to use the EKS, what is the emergent EKS, see cluster, nodes, everything is there. So installation part, deployment part, development options, getting started with EKS, getting started with AWS console CLI, how to install the AWS CLI. Yeah, all options are available here. Okay, so first to so you need to install the AWS CLI. Already we know, right? So for AWS CLI, we have the direct commands in Linux. AWS CLI, just open AWS CLI. Yeah, you have this command AWS CLI command interface. Go for documentation. First, you have to install the AWS CLI in your Linux system. Once cluster is created, user guide. Yes. Configure AWS CLI. Get started with install and update. I want to install AWS CLI in my Linux machine. Select Linux. Okay, so these are commands, right? Just copy paste your command. Like same process last time we run, right? For AWS CLI, these are the commands we are using. First, we need to download the AWS CLI. This is the URL to download the AWS CLI. Yeah, go for your Linux system. Enter here. Copy paste. Yeah. So I just install the Linux system and installing the AWS CLI, and then so now install the sudo unzip software. Sudo yum install unzip before G. Yeah, already installed. Now unzip the application. Copy paste. Unzip the application. Next to install the AWS CLI software. This is command to install the AWS CLI. Sudo AWS CLI. Enter this command. See, so yeah, this is a place you can run the your AWS CLI. I can user. This is the folder. Go for cd space local ls space binary ls cd space yeah. Here just run the command AWS hyphen version. AWS shell must be 2.3 latest version. So it's a 2.3. Python 3.8 is installed successfully. So next. Now you know how to download the access keys and private key to authenticate. So yeah, so go for I want to see cluster is still creating. To create cluster, it will take 10 to 15 minutes. So meanwhile, we are setting the client side PC settings, right? It may be Linux or Windows. I'm installing the CLI and the kubectl commands in our Linux machine or your Windows machine. Same process. Yeah. So go for here. I need the access key, my security credential. Yeah, go for my security credential. Go for access key and private key. Generate one access key. If you yes, create a new access key. Yeah, this is the things I need to create. Yeah, copy paste this one. Okay, paste here. Yes. Like that same last time we did, right? So copy the access key. Now select here. Enter the command AWS CLI. AWS configure. AWS configure. Now enter this one. Access key. Now enter the secret key. Simple steps. Paste. Yes. Default region very important. So in which region we are working right now? So I am working under Mumbai, our local. So it's AP South 1. Okay. So enter the AP dash South 1. Sometimes we are confusing. We create a instance, we are creating one region. EKS, we are creating another region. That may mismatch, right? So first, that is reason. First, we need to fix the which region we are working. Any practical. So first, we need to fix the region, and then we need to start the practical. What practical we are doing? Default output format JSON. You can give YAML JSON, whatever. Right? I successfully installed the AWS CLI in my Linux computer. This part you already know. Okay. Next, I need to install kubectl. This is a new thing. So how to install kubectl? So this is the place AWS EKS. If you go for this is the Amazon EKS the dashboard. In there you can go and see the cluster management. Install kubectl. Install EKS CTL. These two things are there. Install kubectl. See, install kubectl. We can install kubectl on Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. Right now, I am installing the Linux. You can see Windows also same process. Select Linux. So in the Linux, you are installing the kubectl for which cluster? What is the cluster version? So I selected the cluster 1.20, right? Yeah, if you selected 1.21, you need to install this command. So I selected 1.20 version. So my cluster is the 1.20 version. So that for that cluster, you want to connect from your local machine to cluster. This is the syntax. You have to install the kubectl per 1.20 version. So copy this command. So I am installing kubectl per 1.20 version. So enter here. So permission. Yeah, sorry, sudo. Okay. Sudo enter this command. Okay. Yes. Sudo space that command you have to enter. Now successfully downloading the kubectl software. Yeah, successfully downloaded kubectl software. Next, after download the kubectl, next you can see steps are the here only. Step 2. Yeah, step 2. Optional. Verify download binary SHA 256 sum is binary. So this option, this is for 1.20, right? So this command you have to enter. And just the commands are here only. Just you have to enter sudo space, enter that command. Yes. Algorithm verified. Next one is the So step two bottom, you need to check the which algorithm we are installed. This is command, just verify. Yes, algorithm is installed successfully. Next, third one, that gives permission to the kubectl software. So I'm giving the permission to kubectl software. Yes, sudo permission. Super. Next, last step, directory, set the directory path. Fourth step, yes, go for set the directory path. Okay, sudo space learn space cd space learn. Okay, yeah, sudo space set this command. Okay, cd space slash user, right? So we install kubectl under this location. Address cd space so where we install binary cd space no, just a minute. Just connected to system again. Click connect. So I just your location is important. ls, yeah, right now there is no kubectl, right? So binary files are there. Here we need to install kubectl. Just go on to enter the first command, linux kubectl version 21.2. Select this command, enter into this place, copy paste. Yes, so that main user locations. Last time we go for binary locations, that is not correct path. Yeah, ls see kubectl install, right? Next, go for same process, this option. Step two, steps are there here only. Enter step by step. Yes, step two done. Step two, you can see the b section, algorithm verification. Enter this one. Okay, algorithm verified. Next step three, permissions. Permissions also allowed. Yes. Next step four, default path setting. Yes, set the default path. Permitted. Here you want to enter sudo. Yes. Okay, leave it that one. Next step five. Check this one. If that command is not work, step five you can alternate to command. So enter this command. Right. And then step six, check the version. Okay, version. The kubectl client version v1.20 that installed successfully, right? Super. Next. So in my computer, AWS hyphen version, AWS CLI install, and the second software kubectl. Kubectl. If you enter this command, it will display like that. Means kubectl is ready. If you click on ls also, you can see kubectl software client software install, kubectl algorithm also downloaded. Right. So and go and check our cluster is created or not. Yeah. Refresh. Yeah, my cluster is created active. So this is the, just click on, this is my cluster overview. Just click on cluster, you can see allow what cluster created, it is active. Okay, so first part, second part done. Third part, we need to create the worker nodes. I mean worker nodes we need to, on the EC2 instance we need to create to deploy your containers. So but that we need to do just overview, nothing is there. Workload, click on workload. Here see nothing is there. You can click on configure information. Here also there is nothing in there. So yeah, just click on compute information. Here we have two options: node groups, target profile. Node groups means this is the server technology, target means serverless technology. So create a worker nodes for your cluster. I create one cluster, allow what cluster. In that cluster, I am creating the worker node. So just we need to create the node groups. Just add to node group. Click on node group. Give the node group name. So I am giving like so. Hello what? Hello what? Hello what? Node. Hello what? Cluster node. Cluster node. I'm giving name like hello what? Cluster node. Right? I node IAM role is required. So I already created one IAM role. If you don't know how to create IAM, just click on IAM console. So you can create the one new IAM role. So per node, these are the policies we need to attach. Per cluster, we have attached one EKS policy. Per node, we need to attach these three policies. So imagine EKS CNI policy. These three policy we need to attach. Let's see. Go for IAM console, create role. Yeah. So here we need to select the AWS service, EC2 instance. Okay. Click next. Yeah. So we need to select here what are the nodes required. So my node policy name is, so just a minute. Yeah. So first imagine CNS policy. Copy these policies. Select this policy. Paste here. Imagine EKS. EKS means elastic container service, elastic Kubernetes service, CNI policy. Select this one. Next policy. For worker nodes, we need to create a role with these three policies. Yeah, again, copy paste the second one. Select this one. And then third one. Third policy also. These three policies required for worker nodes. Enter the third policy. Right? Select this one. After selecting three policies, click next. Click next. Give the role name. New node role. Okay, you can give any name. New role one. Okay. These three policies you need to remember. For worker nodes, three policies. Per cluster, EKS policies. Create a role. Yeah. So role is created. And now go for your cluster. I'm creating worker node in my cluster. Okay, this is the my node group name. Just refresh here. After creating the role, just IAM console. I went to IAM console. I created one role. I select that role, worker node. It will top down. You can see just now I created one role, right? New node role. Select your role. Okay, remaining all default settings. So I'm not seeing anything. Click next. Here, worker nodes. I am creating worker nodes under my Linux systems. So select the basic things only. Capacity type on demand or spot instance. On demand instance. Okay, so and so instance so type. So this is the where you can select the. I want to deploy my container in instance capacity size. So medium T23 medium default thing. So let's say you want you can change also. It is priceable. Your worker node capacity. So 20 GB hard disk. Number of worker nodes required 2 nodes minimum. So if you want to change here, increase the nodes also. Node group configuration number 1. Everything is default. Click next. Select on next. So these are the subnets. So my worker nodes are created by using these subnets. Yeah, under that subnets, click next. Okay, create. Just create. I successfully launched the cluster. I created cluster. Under cluster, I created the worker nodes. See, my worker nodes are creating. I went to this allow what cluster. I selected this cluster. Go to the configuration details. Under configuration, you can see my computer. Computer, I am creating the worker node groups with the 2 worker nodes. Right? Just refresh. Worker nodes are creating. It will take 10 to 5 minutes. Just a minute. Yeah. After creating worker nodes, you need to verify the command kubectl. First, there is the verification command kubectl get vpc. Select copy the command, paste here. See, this console is disabled. Just a minute. Connect again. We successfully created the cluster, and under cluster, we worker nodes also created. From client side, we are installed the AWS CLI, kubectl client software also installed. Now enter the verification command kubectl get svc. Yeah, so still creating. Just you need to wait. Kubectl. Kubectl. Yes. Sudo switch. Yeah. So go for command. This one. It will display from client side this able to connect to your cluster. In cluster work nodes are created not kubectl get nodes watch ctl get nodes. This means there is a problem with the kubectl software. Just a minute. This time this is the problem that we need to test it. ls. Okay. There is a problem with kubectl. Just check the kubectl version. Okay. Go for here. I'm installing the kubectl for Linux. Yeah, I selected Linux. Version 20, I installed the Kubernetes engine. This is the command. I'm just again repeating the same steps. So otherwise, so create one directory and get here. Cube ls cd space cube. Okay, ls nothing is there. Yeah, enter this command. Right. I downloaded the kubectl software. Kubectl is downloaded successfully. Okay. Next command. Once downloaded, now this is the optional. Yeah, once downloaded, just verify kubectl. Yeah, it's not it. We just download only. Now enter this command. Kubectl less kubectl. Not to install. Second command also we enter. Now go for this algorithm comments. Yes, enter, copy paste here. Just enter. Okay. kubectl. Yeah, go for third syntax. This is permission tab. Copy paste enter here. Yeah, permissions also taken. Yeah, kubectl activate. Kubectl. Okay. Next command. this one, path permission. This command, make directory. Yeah, last time this was not done. Okay, ls path directory was done. And then last command. Client side I'm checking. So I created cluster, worker nodes also created. So this is the last command to verify command. Client side we need to verify cluster is running or not. That's it. And then last command. Yeah, all 6 steps I repeated again. Okay. See. Yeah, client version 1.20 is successfully installed. Okay, now kubectl. Now enter this one. Yeah, successfully entered. Yeah, kubectl. What is command? So go for notepad. This is command from client side. We need to verify either cluster is created or cluster is running or not. First command kube so get svc. Okay. So enter here. Just enter this command. Connection that server localhost 20 was repeated to use SP right host or port number 8080. Okay. Localhost security groups we need to select. Just a minute. And then what are other comments? Comments right. Get node command. Yeah. Check and test our local system. All ports are allowed or not. This is Linux, right? Go for security. Change the security groups. Port number 8080 should be allowed. Edit inbound rule. This is the all are custom, right? Select anywhere. Delete this one. All traffic add rule. Custom TCP port number 8080. Anywhere. Save rule. Okay, so this is allowed. Now go on to test it. Repeat the command. Okay, we need to wait. Cluster is created, not still is the worker node is still in progress. We need once worker node finish, now it will connect it. Go for worker node configuration. Worker node. Yeah, worker node is also active. Nodes. Yeah, there. See, 2 worker nodes are created. So these are 2 worker nodes are ready. So we created cluster. This is my cluster. All about cluster name. Okay, work nodes created. Yeah, before you check that command, now we need to enter 2 things here. So go for notepad. Yeah, this one. AWS EKS. We need to configure these 2 commands. Just a minute. About 2 commands, right? AWS EKS region, AP South 1, describe the cluster. These 2 commands allow the connection. After that, we can enter the kubectl gets svc. Right. Yeah, these 2 commands. Once install the kubectl on Linux machine, this is the command. Here, this default setting, I establish connection to my cluster. Yeah, copy this one. You have to enter your cluster name and region name. Go for Linux machine. Yeah, copy paste here. See, AWS EKS region AP South 1. Cluster name is all over cluster. Now it is connected to. Oh, you are unable to get this. Yeah. Now AWS configure. Okay, again one more time enter the AWS credentials. We already copied, right? Security ID. This is the enter security ID. Enter the secret key ID. After that, enter that command. Default region AP-south-1 output format JSON. Right? LS. Yeah. Now check this command. This command. Open Notepad. I'm established connection to my cluster, my client computer. Copy this command and enter this command. Yes, active. So it is connected to my cluster. So I connected to my cluster via my local machine, Windows or Linux. So next command, after connecting cluster, we need to update the kube config file. Yes, copy paste, enter this kube config file. Yeah. Right, kube config file also created. Now you can enter this verification command, these three verification command. kubectl get svc, get nodes. Now it is execute. See, right? So cluster created with the cluster IP. Next to a node, cluster nodes. You want to check the cluster node, how many cluster nodes created, and you can enter this command. Yes. See, 2 cluster nodes are created. Just enter this command. See, 2 worker nodes are created. Like this, we can verify, we can deploy our applications in our cluster right now. See what I did today concept to simply చెప్పాలంటే ఏం లేదమ్మా, మనకి కంటైనర్ అనేది ఒక అప్లికేషన్ ఉంటుంది. కంటైనర్ లో ఆ అప్లికేషన్ మీరు ఏ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ మీద రన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మనకి ఎలా కంటైనర్ ఇమేజ్ ని ఎలా కంటైనర్ చేయాలో మీకు లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో చెప్పాను. సో డాకర్ మనకి ఇమేజెస్ తీసుకొని ఆ డాకర్ రన్ ఇమేజ్ నేమ్ కొట్టంగానే మనకి కంటైనర్ క్రియేట్ అయింది. ఆ కంటైనర్ మనం ఏ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ అంటే ఏ విండోస్ మిషన్ కానీ లైనక్స్ మిషన్ కానీ ఎక్కడైనా మనం రన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో ఈ క్లస్టర్ ని ఈ కంటైనర్స్ మేనేజ్ చేయడానికి మనకి ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఉంది AWS లో. ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ వచ్చేసి ఒకటి EKS ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీస్ ECS ఒకటి, రెండోది వచ్చేసి EKS. ECS లాస్ట్ టైం మనం క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి టాస్క్ డిఫైన్ చేసి రన్ చేసి చూసాం. ఇప్పుడు రెండోది వచ్చేసి మనకి ఎలాస్టిక్ కుబర్నెటిస్ సర్వీస్. కుబర్నెటిస్ సర్వీస్ లో మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, క్లస్టర్ తో పాటు వర్కర్ నోడ్ గ్రూప్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, క్లస్టర్ కు IAM పాలసీ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, వర్కర్ నోడ్స్ కి ఒక IAM పాలసీ క్రియేట్ చేసి యాడ్ చేసాం. ఇక్కడ వచ్చేసి మనకి క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం, వర్కర్ నోట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఈ వర్కర్ నోట్స్ లో మన అప్లికేషన్ డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలి ఇప్పుడు. సో ఫస్ట్ మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం. ఇప్పుడు AWS డాష్బోర్డ్ లోకి వెళ్ళి EKS లోకి వెళ్ళి క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. ఈ క్లస్టర్ లో వర్కర్ నోట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. సో సర్వర్ సైడ్ అయిపోయింది. క్లయింట్ సైడ్ వచ్చేసి లైనక్స్ కంప్యూటర్స్ లో, సో లైనక్స్ కంప్యూటర్ లోకి నేను ఏం చేస్తానంటే మనకి AWS CL ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసాను, AWS CL ద్వారా అథెంటికేట్ అయ్యాను. నెక్స్ట్ kubectl ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశాను, మన క్లస్టర్ కి అథెంటికేట్ అయినా మన క్లస్టర్ లో ఈ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ నోట్స్ ఎన్ని రన్ అయ్యో చెక్ చేసాను. సో వచ్చి టూ వర్కర్ నోట్స్ ఆర్ రెడీ. ఈ వర్కర్ నోట్స్ లో నీ అప్లికేషన్ నువ్వు డిప్లాయ్ చేయొచ్చు, నీ కంటైనర్ లో డిప్లాయ్ చేయొచ్చు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎలా డిప్లాయ్ చేస్తామంటే, ఇప్పుడు నీకు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ నీకు గిట్ హబ్ లోకి వెళ్ళు, నాకు గిట్ హబ్ లోకి వెళ్తే సో గో ఫర్ గిట్ హబ్. అక్కడ మనకి ఏదైనా సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఉందనుకున్న కంటైనర్ అప్లికేషన్ ఉంటే అది మనకి డిప్లాయ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఎలా డిప్లాయ్ చేయాలంటే జస్ట్ గో ఫర్ దిస్ కుబర్నెటిస్, గో ఫర్ దాన్ని పార్ట్స్ అంటాం. ఇక్కడికి వెళ్ళిపోయి దిస్ ఇస్ ది జావా హోమ్ టెక్ కుబర్నెటిస్ వెళ్ళి పార్ట్స్ లోకి వెళ్తే మీకు ఎగ్జామ్ శాంపుల్ చూపిస్తాను. కాపీ దిస్ కమాండ్, ఈ పార్ట్స్ మనం డిప్లాయ్ చేయొచ్చు అనమాట. ఓకే, సో ఇది నోట్ ప్యాడ్ లో పేస్ట్ చేసుకుని ఇక్కడ పేస్ట్ చేద్దాం. ఇప్పుడు నాకు వర్కర్ నోట్స్ క్లస్టర్ విత్ 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ ఉంది. ఆ 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ లో అప్లికేషన్ డిప్లాయ్ చేస్తున్నాను. అదిగా మనకి యాక్చువల్ రిజల్ట్ ఉంది. ఈ రీల్ టైం మనం వాడేది ఎలా వాడతాం చూపిస్తాం. kubectl create -f pod and node apps create successfully. ఇక్కడ చూడము, మన అప్లికేషన్ ని ఆ వర్కర్ నోడ్ రన్నింగ్ లో ఉన్న 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ లో డిప్లాయ్ చేశాను అనమాట. సో నెక్స్ట్ కమాండ్ వచ్చేసి మీకు దీంట్లో సో కమాండ్ టు గెట్ ఆల్ పార్ట్స్, మన ఎన్ని పార్ట్స్ రన్ అవుతున్నాయి అని తెలుసుకోవాలంటే kubectl గెట్ పార్ట్స్ అని కొడితే కమాండ్స్ మనకి తెలిసిపోతాయి, డెస్క్ పై కూడా తెలిసిపోతాయి. సో లెట్స్ గో ఫర్ ఒక అప్లికేషన్ మనం డిప్లాయ్ చేసాం, ఇక్కడ వెళ్ళిపోయి kubectl గెట్ పార్ట్స్ అని కొడితే, పార్ట్ అంటే మన అప్లికేషన్ సి వన్ నోడ్ యాప్, ఒక జస్ట్ నోడ్ యాప్ అనే ఒక అప్లికేషన్ మనం ఇప్పుడు క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం, క్లస్టర్ లో 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం కదా, ఆ 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ లో ఈ యాప్ అనేది రన్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో ఇట్ స్టార్టెడ్ రన్నింగ్ 21, దీని యొక్క 21 సెకండ్స్ అనమాట ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అయ్యింది. ఓకే, సో నోడ్ యాప్ అనేది 2 క్లస్టర్స్ లో రన్ అవుతుంది. అలాగే దీనికి మోర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలంటే యూ కెన్ సీ కమాండ్, దిస్ ఇండెక్స్ కమాండ్ టు డిస్క్రైబ్ ది పాడ్ డీటెయిల్స్. ఓకే, సో పాడ్ యొక్క డీటెయిల్స్ కావాలంటే మనకి డిస్క్రైబింగ్ కొడితే అసలు ఏ పాడ్ ఏంటి డీటెయిల్స్ మొత్తం కూడా మనం ఏం డిప్లాయ్ చేసి ఉన్నది కూడా తెలిసిపోతుంది. ఇది వెళ్ళిపోయి శాంపుల్గా మీకు చూపించాలంటే వెళ్ళిపోయి జస్ట్ ఎంటర్ దిస్ కమాండ్ డిస్క్రైబ్ పాడ్ డీటెయిల్స్. చూడండి మన పాడ్ ఏది డిప్లాయ్ చేసాము, దానికి సంబంధించిన కంటైనర్ ఇమేజ్ ఏంటి, ఓకే డాకర్ ఇమేజ్ ఏంటి, ఏమి ఇమేజ్ తీసుకున్నాం, ఇదంతా కూడా మనకి క్లియర్గా డిస్ప్లే అవుతుంది. క్లియర్. సో లిటిల్ బిట్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ ఉంటుంది దీంట్లో, నో ప్రాబ్లం, ఒకసారి ట్రై చేయండి, మీకు రాకపోతే మళ్ళీ నేను రిపీట్ చేస్తాను. ఏం చేయాలంటే మనకి మన లాస్ట్ టైం ఏం చేస్తామంటే డాకర్ ఇమేజెస్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి రన్ చేసిన తర్వాత AWS లోకి వచ్చేసి ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ రిజిస్టర్ ఇంటర్నల్ రిపోజిటరీ అని చెప్పాం, ECR ఇది ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ రిజిస్టర్ ఇంటర్నల్ రిపోజిటరీలో ఇమేజెస్ ఎలా పుష్ చేయాలో మీకు లాస్ట్ టైం చూపించాం. అదే హాల్ మీకు డౌట్ వస్తే అది కూడా నేను చూపిస్తాను. ECR లో ఇమేజెస్ పుష్ ECR ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ రిజిస్ట్రీ, దీంట్లో ఏంటంటే ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ రిజిస్టర్ లో మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, మన ఇమేజెస్ కంటైనర్స్ ఇక్కడ పుష్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఇక్కడ పుష్ చేసిన కంటైనర్స్ మనం EKS ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీస్ లో రన్ చేస్తాం, క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి. మనకి క్లస్టర్ రన్ చేయడానికి 2 సర్వీసెస్ ఉన్నాయి. 2 సర్వీస్ ఏంటమ్మా, ఒకటి EKS ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీస్, ECS ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీస్. దీంట్లో క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం, లాస్ట్ టైం రన్ చేసాము, వెరిఫై చేస్తాం. తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఇంకొకటి ఉంది మనకి టూల్ క్లస్టర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ కి. సెకండ్ టూల్ ఏంటమ్మా, ఈ Kubernetes సర్వీస్ EKS. లాస్ట్ టైం అయితే ECS అనేది AWS తోటి ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీస్. దీంట్లో కంటైనర్స్ మనం రన్ చేసాం, చెక్ చేసాం క్లస్టర్ ద్వారా, క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి. సో సెకండ్ మెథడ్ వచ్చేసి ఓపెన్ సోర్స్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వచ్చేసి ఎలాస్టిక్ Kubernetes సర్వీస్. సో దీంట్లో ఎలాస్టిక్ Kubernetes సర్వీస్ లో మనం క్లస్టర్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం. ఇప్పుడు ఆ క్లస్టర్ లో 2 వర్కర్ నోట్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం, ఒక అప్లికేషన్ డిప్లాయ్ చేసాం, రన్ చేసాం, వెరిఫై చేసాం. క్లియర్, ఇది మనం చేసింది ఇప్పుడు వరకు. ఓకే, సో ఈ 3 కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది, ఈ 3 కాన్సెప్ట్స్ గురించి మీరు నేర్చుకోవాలి, వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఫస్ట్ వన్ ECR ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ రిజిస్ట్రీ అంటే ఏంటి, తర్వాత ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ సర్వీసెస్ అంటే ఏంటి, తర్వాత ఎలాస్టిక్ కంటైనర్ Kubernetes సర్వీస్ అంటే ఏంటి, తర్వాత ఫార్గెట్. ఈ 4 కాన్సెప్ట్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, రియల్ టైం వర్క్. ఫార్గెట్, ECR ECS EKS ఫార్గెట్, ఈ 4 టర్మ్స్ మనం ఈ రెజ్యూమ్స్ లో కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. సో మనకి మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది టైమ్స్ మేజర్ ఈ 4గిట్లో ఏదో కంపల్సరీ 1-2 మీకు రెజ్యూమ్స్ లో ఉండాలి కంపల్సరీ. సో ఈ 4 పెట్టేసుకోవచ్చు మీ రెజ్యూమ్ లో, ఈ ప్రాక్టీస్ అయిన తర్వాత. ECR ECS EKS ఫార్గెట్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, ఈ 4గిట్ల గురించి ఈరోజు చూడండి. ఓకే, సో నెక్స్ట్ చూసిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ రేపు ఏం చేస్తా ఉంటే ఇక్కడ డిఫరెంట్ ఏజూర్లో మనకి వర్చువల్ డాష్బోర్డ్ ఎలాగ ఉంటుంది, అలాగే GCPలో క్లస్టర్స్ ఎలాగ ఉంటుంది, GCP డాష్బోర్డ్ ఎలాగ ఉంటుంది మీకు రేపు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. సో GCPలో ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మనకి AWS Kubernetes సర్వీస్కి వచ్చాము, మనం డాకర్ చెప్పాము, తర్వాత టెరాఫార్మ్ చెప్పాము, జెంకిన్ చెప్పాము, Kubernetes దీంట్లో AWS చెప్పాను. GCPలో Kubernetes కూడా ఎలా ఉంటుందో రేపు నీకు చూపిస్తాను, సో దట్ మీకు కంప్లీట్ గా ఓవరాల్ గా ఐడియా వస్తుంది అన్ని పోర్టల్ మీద. రేపు ఎజూర్లో కూడా ఎలా లాగిన్ అవ్వాలో చూపిస్తాను, GCPలో ఎలా లాగిన్ అవ్వాలో చూపిస్తాను, దాంట్లో వర్చువల్ మిషన్స్ ఎలా లాంచ్ చేయాలి, GCPలో కూడా వర్చువల్ మిషన్ ఎలా లాంచ్ చేయాలో చూపిస్తాను. క్లియర్, రైట్. ఈ రికార్డింగ్ పంపిస్తాను, అటెండ్ అవ్వని వాళ్ళకి సో చెక్ చేసుకొని చెప్పండి.